Have you ever noticed something frustrating? You walk into a room and you speak clearly, you're polite. You might even be right about everything you say, and yet people dismiss you like your words carry no weight. You watch someone else walk in, say just a few calm sentences, and suddenly the entire room goes quiet and listens. What's the difference? It's not volume, it's not aggression, it's not even confidence in the traditional sense. It's something deeper. The Stoics discovered this 2,000 years ago. True authority doesn't come from shouting, it comes from controlled precision, words that land because you're not begging to be heard. Today I'm going to share 5 phrases that instantly command respect. Not manipulation, not tricks. Real respect. The kind that makes people take you seriously without you having to prove anything. And stay with me because phrase number 3 is the fastest way to flip a heated conversation without raising your voice, even once. And once you use it, you'll feel the shift immediately in how others respond to you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you demonstrate through self-control, boundaries, and the way you carry yourself when everyone else loses theirs. Failing to master these phrases risks something most people don't realize until it's too late. You'll keep explaining yourself to people who never intended to listen. You'll tolerate disrespect because you don't know how to draw the line without starting a fight. And worst of all, you'll begin to doubt your own worth because the world taught you that silence means weakness. But the Stoics knew better. Silence isn't weakness. Silence with the right words at the right time is the ultimate power. Let's begin. Phrase 1. I understand your point, but I disagree. Most arguments don't break because of facts. They break because of ego. The second you tell someone they're wrong, they stop listening and start defending. Their brain shuts down. Their pride takes over. And now you're not having a conversation anymore. You're having a battle. And here's the truth. Battles drain you even when you win. But this phrase does something different. When you start with, I understand your point, you disarm the ego. You show that you actually listened. You show you're not insecure. You're not attacking. You're not threatened. And then you finish with the line that actually matters. But I disagree. No apology, no softening, just a clean boundary. You're saying, I see you, I hear you, and I still think differently. And that combination is rare. Most people either attack or submit. They fight or fold. But you're doing neither. You're standing firm without needing to destroy the other person to do it. Example, you're in a meeting. Someone pushes a plan you know will fail. The room is nodding along because no one wants to look difficult. You could stay silent and watch it crash later, or you could explode and create enemies. But instead you pause, you breathe, and you say, I understand your point, but I disagree. Your voice stays steady. Your face stays calm. And suddenly, people look at you differently because you just showed them what real strength looks like. Not loud, not aggressive, just unshakable. Phrase 2. I don't find that appropriate. This is one of the most powerful boundaries you can set because it's surgical. Most people, when someone crosses the line, do one of 3 things. They laugh nervously to avoid confrontation. They stay silent and let the disrespect sink in. Or they explode and make the situation about their reaction instead of the other person's behavior. All 3 responses teach the same lesson. It's okay to disrespect me. But when you say, I don't find that appropriate, everything changes. You're not debating. You're not explaining why it's inappropriate. You're not asking for their agreement. You're simply marking the line. And that calm refusal to tolerate disrespect does something most people never experience. It makes others respect you even if they don't like what you just said. Example. You're at dinner. Someone makes a joke at your expense and expects you to smile and take it. The table laughs. Everyone's watching to see if you'll play along or if you'll ruin the mood. You don't do either. You pause. You look at them without anger, without a smile, and you say, "I don't find that appropriate." Then you take a sip of water. You don't explain. You don't justify. You just move on. And here's what happens next. The joke teller feels the weight of what they just did. The table goes quiet for a second, and even if no one says it out loud, everyone just learned something. You don't play games. And that lesson sticks. Stay with me, because the next phrase is where most people completely fail. They think staying calm means staying silent. But the Stoics knew something different. Silence has power, but only when you know how to break it. Phrase 3. Let's talk when we can do so respectfully. There's a moment in every heated conversation when it stops being a conversation. Voices rise, people interrupt. Words stop being tools for understanding and become weapons. And here's where most people make one of two mistakes. They either match the aggression and lose their dignity, or they retreat and feel powerless. But this phrase creates a third option. Control without conflict. You're not running away, you're refusing to participate in chaos, and you're doing it in a way that puts the responsibility exactly where it belongs, on mutual respect. You don't say it with anger. You don't say it like a threat. You say it like a law of nature. Let's talk when we can do so respectfully. Then, you stop talking. That silence is not weakness. That silence is the message. I'm not here to be dragged into your chaos. I'm here when you're ready to act like an adult. Example. A coworker is talking over you in a meeting, trying to dominate the room with volume and aggression. You feel the anger rising. You could interrupt louder. You could fight back. But instead, you let them finish. You wait for them to take a breath. And then you say calmly, "Let's talk when we can do so respectfully." Then you sit back. You don't elaborate. You don't defend. And what happens? The room shifts. Because everyone just saw you refuse to play the game. And whether they admit it or not, they respect you for it. If you find these insights helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. It's a small click, but a meaningful way to support me as I continue this journey and walk alongside you toward a better life, one day at a time. Phrase 4. I'd prefer not to continue this conversation. Not every battle deserves your energy. Not every debate deserves your time. Some people argue to understand. Others argue to win. And the ones who argue to win will keep moving the goalposts, twisting your words and draining your peace until you're exhausted. The Stoics called this wisdom. Protect your peace. And this phrase is how you do it without slamming doors or burning bridges. I'd prefer not to continue this conversation. No anger, no insult, no explanation. You're not running. You're choosing yourself. And that choice is one of the most underrated forms of power. Because here's the truth. Walking away from disrespect is not losing. It's refusing to waste your life on noise. Example. Someone keeps provoking you. Same argument, same circular logic, same attempt to pull you into the mud. You feel the trap. Every response you give will be used against you. So instead of playing, you stop. You look at them calmly and say, "I'd prefer not to continue this conversation." Then you leave. Not in anger, not in defeat, in clarity. And what does that teach them? That you value your time more than their need for conflict. And what does it teach you? That your peace is not negotiable. The final phrase is the key to staying independent when people try to pressure you into thinking like them. Phrase 5. That's your opinion, and I respect it, but I don't share it. In today's world, everyone has an opinion about how you should live, how you should work, how you should think, how you should love. And most people respond in one of two ways. They fight for hours trying to change the other person's mind, or they bend and pretend to agree just to keep the peace. But the Stoic path is different. You can respect someone without surrendering yourself. That's your opinion, and I respect it, but I don't share it. It's firm without being hostile, It's polite without being submissive. You're acknowledging their right to think differently while protecting your own right to do the same. Example: a family member pressures you to follow their life path. Get this job, marry this person, live this way. The pressure builds. You could argue for hours and damage the relationship. Or you could cave and resent them forever. But instead you breathe and you say, "That's your opinion, and I respect it, but I don't share it." You don't apologize for disagreeing. You don't explain yourself to death. You simply stand in your truth, and you stay calm. Why do these 5 phrases work? Each phrase shares 3 Stoic qualities. They separate emotion from reaction. They set boundaries without aggression. They come from self-respect. And self-respect always comes before respect from others. Here's the paradox. The less you chase respect, the more people feel it. Because they can sense when your calm is real. They can sense when you're not performing. They can sense when you're not afraid of their disapproval, and that's magnetic. Final message. Respect isn't forced. It's earned through character. And character is built in small moments. The moment you hold your ground without yelling. The moment you set a boundary without bitterness. The moment you refuse to trade your dignity for approval. Choose one phrase this week and practice it once. Not to win, but to become the kind of person who doesn't get pulled into chaos. Because the strongest person in the room is rarely the loudest. It's the one who can stay calm and still be firm. That is Stoic power. And that is what we build here on Stoic Journal. If this helped you, subscribe to Stoic Journal so you keep building calm authority one conversation at a time. Now comment below with your pledge. Which phrase will you use first? I understand your point, but I disagree. I don't find that appropriate. Let's talk when we can do so respectfully. I'd prefer not to continue this conversation. Or that's your opinion, and I respect it, but I don't share it. Pick one, use it, and watch how the world responds when your words finally carry weight.